Building a coke farm is complicated. You got plants, cauldrons, ovens, drying racks, chemists, botanists, handlers. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's super easy to mess up. One wrong move and your whole setup falls apart. But don't worry. I spent the last week obsessing over ratios, testing pathfinding, and yelling at my employees to bring you guys the most optimized, most efficient, and most profitable coke farm Schedule 1 has ever seen. And of course, just because you all asked nicely, I made sure it produces heavenly quality product. Here's the layout. Everything is optimized to reduce walking time. Our plants are all at the front by the waiting area, the drying racks are right beside them. From there, it flows straight to the cauldrons and ovens in the back without any pathing issues or wasted steps. And when the chemists head back outside, they can drop the finished product off at this shelf right here. In this build, we have a total of 36 pots, 12 drying racks, and 6 cauldrons and lab ovens. This is the perfect ratio to maximize efficiency and ensure zero bottlenecks. 6 to 2 to 1. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where the heck are the mixing stations? Well, we don't need them. This entire operation feeds right into the stash and dash setup from my previous video, where we drop off the product and sprinkle in our premium mix. Banana, cuke, semen.
These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girl. But Professor Utonium accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction.
Chemical bean. So strap in, because I'm going to walk you through every step of the build and break down exactly how to get this farm running like a real kingpin. Here's a list of everything you're going to need. Tons of plants, tons of racks, and tons of storage. And don't forget to hire 6 botanists, 3 chemists, and a handler, for a grand total of $61,000. First, we gotta set up the grow area for our coca plants. Head all the way to the back, next to the stairs, and place 1 suspension rack right there. Skip 2 tiles and place 2 more side by side. Then, skip another 2 tiles and drop 1 more rack. This staggered layout gives us room to build out a little path so our botanists don't get stuck. Next, skip 2 more tiles to create a little walkway. This is important. It'll let our botanists reach the drying racks quickly without getting stuck on anything. Then, go down the column and place 5 more racks straight down the line, so there's 6 in total. Do that for every column here, and you've got a nice grid layout for the farm. Now for the lighting. Grab your full spectrum lights and place 1 on each rack. Just go one by one and install them at the top. There's really no reason to use anything else. Full spectrums are the best lights in the game, hands down. After that, we're dropping air pots underneath every single rack and grow light. 36 in total. And again, don't believe the lies around moisture pots. They are not better for coke. Air pots give you about 11% more efficiency, so that's what we're going with. And once you got everything placed down, your grow area should look something like this. Everything in a nice grid. Now, let's move on to the storage and equipment. We're going to start upstairs. Head to the far end of the upstairs area and line the wall with 6 large storage racks. Next, we got to place the employee lockers. You'll want 5 lockers on one side and 5 on the other. That gives us a total of 10, which matches the number of employees we'll have on staff. Then, go down this wall here and place another 6 large storage racks, stopping when you reach the stairs. Now let's head down and focus on the main area. In front of all of the plant rows, place a large storage rack. This is going to act as the main supply shelf for our botanists, making it easy for them to grab supplies before they go to the plants. Under each stairwell, place 2 large storage racks. The ones on this side will be for storing finished product, so go ahead and drop your brick press and 2 safes nearby to handle processing and hold all the bricks. On this side wall, place 6 drying racks, and then cap the row with a medium storage rack. This rack helps improve pathfinding for our workers. And under these stairs, drop 3 more medium storage racks. These are where we'll keep extra gasoline for the cauldrons. Now move over to the opposite wall, place another medium rack to cap off the row, and then line up 6 more drying racks. These racks are going to turn our coca leaves into heavenly grade product. Now it's time for cauldrons. Place 2 on this side, another 2 along the wall here, and the final 2 on the other side. Then take your lab ovens, place one between the cauldrons here, and then line the rest along the back wall. And just like that, all your equipment is in place and ready to go. Alright, now it's time to configure all of our equipment, starting with the plants. Go ahead and select all 36 air pots. Set the seed type to coca seed, and for the additive, select fertilizer. Next, we need to assign destinations so our botanists know where to send the harvested leaves, so start with the front 3 pots and assign them to drying rack number 1. Then take the 3 pots directly behind them and assign those to drying rack number 2. Move to the next set of 3 in the front, those go to rack number 3, and the 3 behind them go to rack number 4. Repeat the same thing again, front 3 to drying rack 5, back 3 to drying rack 6. Now go over to the other side and repeat the exact same process. Each group of 3 pots gets assigned to its own drying rack. Stick to the layout and you'll be golden. This 3-to-1 ratio between pots and drying racks is key. Each drying rack can handle 40 leaves per day, and each set of 3 pots produces 27 leaves total, so this setup ensures your racks never get backed up. Next, we're going to tell the drying racks where to send the dried leaves. So start with the 2 racks at the very back, set their quality to heavenly, and assign their destination to the nearest cauldron right here. Then take the middle 2 racks, set the filter to gold star, and route them to the cauldron in the back corner. Now grab the 2 front racks, set their target quality again, and assign their destination to the cauldron on the middle wall. Repeat the same assignments for the other side of the warehouse. Back racks to front cauldron, middle racks to far back corner, and the front racks to the middle cauldron. This setup balances the walking distance across all drying racks and cauldrons, preventing one side from getting overloaded. Now let's assign destination for the cauldrons using the exact same logic. Each cauldron should send its product to the nearest lab oven in a way that keeps walking distance even between all of the equipment. Then select all of your lab ovens and set their destination to the large storage rack in the front of the warehouse. This lets the chemists drop off the product quickly as they exit the warehouse. And finally, set the brick press destination to the safe right beside it. That wraps up this section. Everything's configured and ready to run. Now we gotta get our workers set up so they know what to do. And let's start by giving each of our employees a locker. And while you're at it, make sure to assign the main supply shelf to each of the botanists so they know where to grab their supplies. Now that that's out the way, let's start by getting the botanist set up, and pay close attention because this is where the efficiency of this farm really shines through. Assign each botanist to 6 pots, and then assign them to the 2 racks that those pots feed into. So they manage this entire section, pots and drying racks. And you're going to do this for all 6 of our botanists, just like the layout shows. This assignment is super clean. Each worker is fully in charge of their own section. No overlap, no shared racks, and no confusion. So if one of them bugs out or takes a nap on the job, it won't mess with the rest of the operation. Everything else keeps flowing just fine. Once all the botanists have their instructions, it's time to set up the chemists, and thankfully, this part's pretty straightforward. Start by grabbing a chemist and assigning them to 2 cauldrons. Then assign them to the 2 lab ovens that those cauldrons feed into. And do that for all 3 chemists. This mirrors how we set up the botanists. Each chemist is fully responsible for their own section. No overlap, no confusion. Just smooth, self-contained workflows that keep the system running even if one worker stalls out. Now for the handler, and this one's vital to the entire operation. They're the backbone keeping everything stocked and flowing. For Route 1, have them move supplies from Delivery Bay 1 to the botanist supply shelf. Then for Route 2, do the same thing, but from Delivery Bay 2. Route 3 will take the finished product from this supply shelf and send it over to the brick press. And for Route 4, they'll move the bricks from one safe to the other, just to give you more room for storage. Finally, assign the brick press, and just like that, all of your workers are fully set up and ready to run the farm all on their own. Now it's time to set up our item filters, and thankfully, Tyler finally added a copy-paste option, so it's way less tedious than it was in the other builds. Go to the botanist supply shelf and configure the filter layout like this. The first 3 cells should be set to coca seeds. The bottom 3 should be set to fertilizer. and the entire right column should be set to extra long life soil. Make sure it looks like this and you won't have any problems. Now, before we place our first delivery order, we need to get all of our cauldrons stocked with gasoline because the handler isn't going to do it on their own. So go ahead and fill each cauldron manually. Just walk up and add gas to every single one of them. Once they're all topped off, take any leftover gasoline and store it in the medium storage racks we placed under the stairs earlier. You'll need to restock the cauldrons and reorder your supplies every 3 in-game days. And speaking of supplies, let's go ahead and order those now. Open up your delivery app and hit up our main man Dan. Tell him to send 120 fertilizer and 40 extra long life soil to Loading Bay 1 at the warehouse. Then slide on over to Salvador Moreno and place an order for 160 coca seeds to Loading Bay 2. And if you haven't unlocked deliveries from Salvador yet, no worries. Just keep grinding those dead drops and eventually he'll offer to deliver the seeds straight to your door. Now that we've ordered our supplies, all that's left is to pay our employees and wait for the deliveries to arrive. Our handler will jump into action stocking up the supply shelf, and the botanists will start pouring in one by one. They'll lay down the soil, plant the seeds, water them, and hit them with a blast of fertilizer. Once the coca plants are fully grown, they harvest the leaves and send them straight to the racks, where they get dried and sent to the cauldrons. So the chemists can dunk the leaves in gasoline and start cooking them. And from there, they slide into the lab ovens where they get baked to perfection. The chemist will break it up, and then finally, the finished product gets put on the shelf and pressed into beautiful, profitable bricks. Now we just gotta load up our Viper and drive it on over to the automated mixing area at the Stash and Dash. And guys, honestly, the more I use this isolated mixing setup, the more I fall in love with it. You can even order deliveries from both of the gas marts, so it stays stocked all day. Seriously, if you haven't built this setup in your save yet, you're really missing out. All you gotta do is load up the safes and then come back later to perfectly mixed product, courtesy of our wonderful employees. And honestly, they deserve a treat. Because here at the Big Willie business, we ensure our employees always have the best amenities. Like a PlayStation that comes loaded with 2 whole video games, or a photo of a beach to remind them of the 3 vacation days they get a year. We even have a single bed for all of them to cuddle in, and a live, laugh, love sign to lighten the mood. Oh, and we also gave them enough booze to forget they work for us. If you all have questions or run into any issues, join my Discord. There's a link to it in the description below, and I'll do my best to help you guys out. Stay silly, y'all.